This just in. The Teamsters are releasing the results of their member polling on which presidential candidate to back. And here it is, 31% say they support Harris compared to 58% who say they support Trump. The union typically backs Democrat candidates, but has delayed its endorsement in this contest. The union's General Executive Board expects to announce a decision at some point today. So take from that what you will.
Oh my, put that back up on the screen. Holy moly.
Yep.
Trump, they prefer 58 to 31 over Harris in the Teamsters.
Yep.
If that is the actual number and the Teamsters doesn't come out and endorse Trump, something's wrong. Now, I remember Trump was here at the Teamsters, and then, of course, the head of the Teamsters union.
We're breaking news. The Teamsters union will not endorse either candidate in this year's presidential race. Unions, a critical part, of course, of President Biden's winning coalition 4 years ago. But this year, the Teamsters president spoke at the Republican National Convention, putting support in doubt. The union represents 1.6 million workers and retirees. Let's talk about it with CNN's Kayla Tausche. Kayla, this is something that hasn't happened in decades.
It hasn't happened since 1996, Brianna, and you mentioned that unions were a critical component of President Biden's winning coalition back in 2020, and Democrats had hoped that once again, especially after the policies put forth by the Biden-Harris administration, that it would be an easy win for Vice President Harris. Now, she has secured the endorsements for most major union leaders, but this one was always outstanding. And around the time of the Republican National Convention, when Sean O'Brien, the leader of the Teamsters, took the stage to deliver remarks, stakeholders at the time were suggesting that Teamsters officials had been saying behind the scenes that they could remain neutral in this year's race. Remember, union leaders themselves have a political calculus to make within their own organizations. They are elected in many cases, and they have to keep their membership happy. And in many of these cases, they've waited until their own internal polls showed exactly how their rank and file members felt before they came out with their endorsement. And many of those polls were conducted in recent months. The Teamsters poll, which was conducted over the course of 6 months with sort of a fast track in the last month when Harris became the candidate, showed overwhelming support for former President Trump in many cases. But in the statement that the Teamsters put out just a few moments ago, they nodded to specific proposals that they were unable to clinch with either candidate as the reason for remaining neutral. Sean O'Brien, who's the president of the Teamsters, saying, unfortunately, neither major candidate was able to make serious commitments to our union to ensure the interests of working people are always put before big business. He goes on to say, we sought commitments from both Trump and Harris not to interfere in critical union campaigns or core Teamsters industries and to honor our members' right to strike, but were unable to secure those pledges. Now, to many following this situation, it's not necessarily a surprise given that this position had been more or less telegraphed for the last few months, but they had dangled the possibility of a change in that stance, inviting Vice President Harris to many rounds.
Economy would be very bad, or they're playing politics, one or the other. But it was a big cut.
Mr. President, any reaction to the Teamsters' decision not to endorse?
No, they were. It's a great honor. They're not going to endorse the Democrats. That's a big thing. And this is the first time in, I guess, 50, 60 years that that's happened. Democrats automatically have the Teamsters. They took a vote, and I guess I was at 60% or more. And that's a great honor. I mean, it's really. I've had a lot of Teamsters work for me, a lot of the concrete trucks, and built all these buildings that you see in New York City, the Teamsters, exclusively Teamsters, I have to say, and they've done a great job. But the vote of the Teamsters themselves was very high for me, and the leadership, Sean O'Brien and the group, who are great people, they said we can't endorse the Democrats. So I think this is the first time in many decades that they haven't endorsed Democrats.
Big difference in those big industrial states, you think? They're going to make a difference?
I think it will, yeah, I think so. The Teamsters carry a lot of weight. The Democrats cannot believe that. And, you know, look, this is, it was always automatic that Democrats get the Teamsters, and they said we won't endorse the Democrats this year. So that was an honor for me.
Man, what y'all think of all this, man? Comment down below. It is crazy right now, man. And as everybody is tweeting and talking, you know, them not endorsing Kamala Harris, they're endorsing Trump. You know, I'm telling y'all, man, some big things are going to happen. And every single day, we're here to cover it to you and bring it to you. We told you. We told you, man. We told y'all, man. And nobody, you know, Everybody, ain't nobody with them word salads and word spaghettis. Can't tell you, dodging the question. You ask her about the economy. You can't get an answer out of her. Ask her running mate. They're talking about middle class. Cutting the front lawn. Make sure you bring your trash can out to the curb. The trash man runs on Monday and Fridays or Monday and Thursdays. And they still sometimes they run on holidays too. Make sure you bring your front to the curb. Your trash to the curb. Ain't nobody going for that, man. All these word salads, not one single vote. Most unpopular, worst approval rating. Coconuts falling out the coconut tree. What has been unburdened from what been burdened. Nobody going for that, man. People twerking at rallies. Unbelievable. Every rally she got a different new accent. She done went up south. Now she went up earlier today. She went down east. She was just up. She was up west. She went south, north, east. I don't understand it. DEI didn't earn it. I got the new term with them beautiful patriots talking about. I seen this in the comment section a couple times. Drunk entire inventory. Because I think they drunk too. I think the whole campaign, she been sipping with Nancy, all of them. Hillary, everybody. Them Clintons, everybody with Big Mike, Big Sweet Mike. They're all in there drinking wine coolers, tequila, scotch. Yeah. Hands behind your backs. We need all of y'all to breathe in this walkie-talkie. Breathe in this walkie-talkie. Hands behind your backs. So a lot of people need to be held accountable, man. Everybody sees through this corruption. But for that, she didn't get this endorsement, man. This is tough. Yeah, they basically endorsed Trump. You see the poll, 60%. 60% for Trump, y'all. And that's exactly how I feel this election should go. It should be too big to rig. Trump should win by 70, 80%. I'm just being honest. I don't see how she makes it past 150 on that map. Just being real, man.
Today, Vice President Kamala Harris will be in Washington focusing on building union support. She's set to hold a roundtable with labor leaders.
Now, this was a couple days ago.
Teamsters headquarters. CBS News politics reporter Zach Hudak is following the Harris campaign for us.
They were doing things behind the scenes to capture this endorsement. They just knew they were going to get this endorsement. But like I told y'all, they're in for a rude of awakening.
Washington, Zach, good to see you. What is Harris saying first in light of this incident?
She has been expressing concern, but has mostly not been commenting on the incident, and has not been. Her campaign is not commenting on the tweet that Elon Musk sent out last night, asking why no one was trying to assassinate her or President Biden. So they are staying away from it, but showing their support as they need to. We also saw yesterday President Biden call for Congress to give greater resources to the Secret Service to protect him, protect VP Harris, protect former President Trump, and all of them. That's really an example of the Democrats also seeing that there is a need here to increase security on some level for the former president.
What are you hearing about the need, or whether there is any talk right now about any changes for Harris and Walz's security?
There is talk about it. There's nothing concrete that has happened yet, but I do think we can expect in the coming days and weeks both campaigns being far less inclined to hold events outdoor and to put their candidates in situations where they're interacting with members of the public in an uncurated way, in a way that someone who they've not screened or cleared could get near the principal. So I think we are going to see things like that and things like smaller events whenever possible, so that it is an easier load for the Secret Service to keep these folks safe.
Well, today, Harris, as we mentioned, is meeting with Teamsters in Washington. How crucial is union support for her campaign, and what case is she trying to make?
It is as crucial as it could be. We're seeing more and more focus on blue-collar workers in the so-called blue wall Rust Belt states, such states like Michigan, Wisconsin, even part of Pennsylvania, many of which are seen as must-win states for these candidates. President Biden had long union support, always called himself Union Joe, and he actually announced his presidential run the past cycle in Pittsburgh at a union event. So VP Harris has some cred from her association with him for these union folks, but she does really need to shore them up. We saw just a few days ago her announce a plan for some government jobs to no longer have a requirement for a college education. That's just another example of the Harris-Walz campaign trying to reach out to blue-collar voters that traditionally may have been Democratic supporters, but that turned to Trump in 2016 and maybe 2020. That roundtable today with the Teamsters is the latest example of that, and that'll continue tomorrow when former President Trump heads to Flint, Michigan, another strong union area, and in one of those, as I was discussing, blue wall states. So we're really seeing both of those campaigns zero in and recognize that those voters are must-win voters for them.
Tough. And breaking news right now, man. Trump has a massive crowd in New York. Wow, I'm telling y'all, think Trump, he might turn it red. He might turn it red, man. They might do a whole flip around. I ain't lying to y'all, man. It is crazy right now on my timeline. Trump is getting so much love. Let me go and put it on the screen. Put it on the screen for y'all. Well, I don't want to get copyrighted, but look at that. Look at all those beautiful patriots out there. Wow. Wow. The streets are packed with people, packed with voters. Wow. They did a huge painting. Man. Wow, look at that, you guys. You just can't make this up. Look at this. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Wow. New York is getting busy right now, man. Telling y'all, man, history will be made on this map. You know, they just stay focused, stay on the policy. You know, we already know what the other side is. We know how corrupt it is. We've seen nobody can answer any questions. Nobody, you know, nothing but word salads, dodging, ducking, hiding. You know, completely different.
It's been done in many decades. It hasn't been done for a long time, but we are going to win New York.
Wow. Woo, I got chills.
And that's the first time in many, many years that a Republican can honestly say it. And we're going to do it. We have to do it. We do it. And the election nationwide is over. We take over the White House and we fix up our country. Okay? We fix up our country.
That's my president right there, you guys. Wow. Sold out event. Wow. Capacity of 16,000. However, over 60,000 tickets were requested for the event. Oh my gosh. Over 60,000 people requested tickets to Trump's rally in New York. Wow.
County executive says security is airtight, emphasizing there's a small army of local and federal agencies supporting the Secret Service today. The campaign reportedly says 60.
A lot of beautiful patriots around the world, man, want to change. Sick and tired. Simple, man. I love y'all. Let me know what y'all think. of the show today. We're going to be covering a lot of stuff, a lot more on what's going on in New York and what's happening with the campaign. Prayers for Trump, man. Prayers for Trump, the team, the family. Prayers for you guys and your family. I love y'all, man. One love to the human race. And it has to be too big to rig, baby. And I'll catch y'all on the next one, man.